Hey, welcome everybody. Glad you could make it. I am so excited to start part 3 of whatever this nonsense about Dark Sun has been. Last time we went through a whole lot of really weird monsters that I didn't even know existed. And we're going to continue doing more of the same. After last time, though, I noticed that Dark Sun has a lot of psionic abilities. All the monsters in this book have psionic abilities. Oh, by the way, in case this is the first one you've managed to catch, this is the book we are looking at. This is the oldest book that I own a physical copy of. It's TSR's AD&D Dark Sun Monstrous Compendium Appendix 2. Yeah, think of a longer title, why don't you? But just the fact that this is a setting-specific Monstrous Compendium, and it's the second one, then that just tells me that there were so many monsters in second edition, and that's sort of why I started this series, because I want to take the cool ones from second edition and port them over to fifth edition, because there were a lot that have been dropped in the in-between. So without further ado, let's get back to the first one we looked at last time. Was the Mayordi. It was this lady right here. Essentially, a Mayordi is an undead, a really powerful undead from an ancient civilization with completely different laws, society, culture, and the undead, the Mayordi, remembers all of it. And they are usually set to guard something, a tomb or a palace. And the Mayordi are very, very forthright, and they don't cut corners when they're enforcing these ancient laws that they remember so well. They will usually just attack trespassers after announcing that they are trespassing. It will ask them politely, "May I please kill you?" Or no, it will politely inform them, "You have trespassed and the penalty is death. You must die now. Please accept your penalty with honor." That's not going to happen. Fight ensues. And their whole thing that I kind of breezed over when we first looked at them was their huge number of psionic abilities. So on another screen here, I have pulled up the another document from AD&D that describes what all of these mean. Clairsentience, sciences, clairvoyance, devotions, danger sense, psionic sense. I didn't know what any of that meant. Clairvoyance, probably the clairvoyance spell, but psychic, right? I looked that one up. That is true. So we are going to jump over to our notes document and throw in, I already did, clairvoyance under the psionic section of the Mayordi. But let's see what else this lady has to offer. So I'll look up danger sense in this document real quick. And it looks like danger sense is another psionic power. When using danger sense, a psionicist will experience a slight tingling sensation in the back of his neck when a hazard or threat is near. So sort of like the barbarian danger sense. They didn't change the name between that. It's just not psychic anymore. We might take that away from their psionics, and I'm sort of getting rid of the psionics ability because there is no equivalent for that in 5th edition yet. At least not as generalized as it was in 2nd edition, where anyone can just have psionic abilities. In 5th edition, it's like 2 feats or your subclass, your entire subclass. So instead, we're going to... Hey, Christian, welcome back. Good to see you. We're going to I think maybe... I don't feel like this lady looks like a barbarian. I mean, she could be. She looks angry enough, right? So we're going to put in the notes somewhere in here. Barbarian danger sense? Question mark. And we'll double back to our document. So that's sort of what I'm going to be doing first off here, is going back through the Miordi stat block specifically. I'm not going to go over any of the others that we looked at last time, because we want to get to some new stuff, right? But I do want to get to know the Miordi a little better, despite her horrid visage. Psionic sense. I looked this one up as well. Psionic sense is essentially... It's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically you can tell when there is psionics being used nearby. So I think this will best translate as just being able to cast detect magic. Maybe a 3 per day sort of thing. I don't want to make it at will, because detect magic at will is extremely powerful, and it's sort of reserved for, like, you know, demon princes or archdevils, stuff like that. So she's powerful, but she's not going to be the big bad of a whole campaign. I mean, she could be, but that's not how we're going to build her at first. Let's see, what is next on the list? Psychometabolism. When you eat so good that you can move things with your mind. Sciences, life draining. Okay, let's look up life draining here. Life draining. Let's see. With this devotion, psionics can drain hit points from another character and use them to recover their own. The transfer occurs at a rate of 1d6 points per round. Okay, that actually translates very well into 5th edition. It's sort of like a vampiric touch, but at range. I don't know how they flavored this, really, when it was a psychic ability. And what should we make this? Sort of like maybe a blood-sucking thing? Because they're a zombie, and gaining more blood would make them more powerful. What could they take from creatures that... Hey, Cullen, good to see you. Looking at the Miordi again, trying to figure out what psychic ability she has and putting them into 5th edition as spells or other existing abilities. And right now we're looking at this life-draining ability. It's essentially like this character can absorb up to 10 more hit points than its healthy total. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's taking hit points from someone at a distance. Oh no, it says range is touch. So yeah, maybe you just give it vampiric touch? I don't think anyone's going to be mad at that. So we're just making this a spellcasting undead and pulling the spell list from these psychic abilities that it had in 2nd edition. I can get on board with that. Detect magic and vampiric touch. Let's see, what is the next one? Cause decay. That sounds awesome. And better than cause fear. Let's see. This power works only against inanimate objects. Okay. The psionic's touch causes instant decay. Metal rusts, wood ages and splits, cloth falls to dust. I don't know if there's sort of a connection. There's an existing thing in 5th edition for this. At least not specific to inanimate objects. I mean, maybe blight, that because it instantly kills plants, but would that count as an inanimate object? I don't know. Metal rust is pretty clear. We've got the rust monster for that. So let's see if we can pull up rust monster on D&D Beyond quick and see what that ability actually says. Okay, rust monster. That's, okay. Antennae. The rust monster corrodes a non-magical ferrous metal it can see within 5 feet of it. So basically touch. If it isn't being worn or carried, the touch destroys a 1-foot cube of it. If it is being worn or carried, DC 11 Dex save. We could... I don't think this needs to be... I think this is simple enough where we could just put this in as a new ability. Sort of like... It would be an action, for sure. But I don't think that we need to make it entirely new, just for the sake of... I don't know anything that's like this. But this is super cool, just being able to touch something and have it decay very suddenly. Like, it rusts before your eyes. It rots away as you're staring at it. That could be a, big fear moment for the players if they see this undead in a dress walking towards them, and as she steps along the grass, she leaves behind these like footprints of just death and decay and rot. Everything she touches just is no more. So let's quickly word that ability. Decaying touch or something like that. As an action, the Miordi can touch a... Should we make it touch an object? I think we need to keep in the not necessarily the non-living, not make it non-living, because I want it to be able to, like, destroy and wither trees and whatnot. Hey, Alex and Alan. We're doing pretty good over here. Going over some 2nd edition monsters and seeing how well we can port them over to 5th edition. And the 2nd edition psionics were insane and complicated. So I've got 2 documents up showing you guys this. We are currently looking at her, an undead Miordi, who is an ancient undead that looks at... She guards something, a temple, a tomb, and her whole shtick is that she remembers this ancient set of laws that she was given to use to protect and, kill trespassers and whatnot. And she holds today's people accountable for those laws. So she'll go up to you, say, "You are trespassing. I will kill you now. Please die with honor." They won't do that. Fighting ensues, and we're trying to figure out what that fight looks like. Hey, Alex, thanks. Yep, big first hurdle passed with 1,000 subs. I'm actually monetized now, so going back and watching this, you might see some ads, and I'll get like a penny for it. Let's see. Your ex. Well, let's stat up your ex and turn her into a monster. Christian, some lore could be added since it doesn't affect magic. She may hold on to such items since they are the only things she can hold on to. Okay. So she would probably have a couple of magic items since they're the only things that her touch won't just rot away or rust to being unuseful. I like that. We'll throw that in. Let's see. Wow, this is gonna be a lot long thing when I go back to actually make the stat block for this. The Mjordi commonly has several magic items, as they are the only things it can touch without destroying them. That could end up it being a really good story, sort of like a big, you know, like what's the legend called where there's a king who wishes everything he touches to turn to gold, so he can't touch anything anymore. I don't know what CR this lovely woman is supposed to be. In second edition, her CR was... Yeah, I don't have any... I never played second edition, so I don't have any reference. But we're making her pretty powerful. Like, CR, somewhere between 15 and 20 in the end, I'm guessing. So she's like the final boss of this tomb dungeon. But the difference between her and other final bosses is that she's going to be chasing the players around the dungeon. They're going to get to the final room and she's not going to be there. She's going to be behind them. Because her whole goal is to... Yes! King Midas! Thank you, Christian. That was his name. But yeah, the Mjordi is supposed to like go out and actively dish out punishments for the... dish out punishments for the laws. Hit dice equals approximate CR. Let's see. Hit dice, hit dice, hit dice, hit dice. The only hit dice I hear... Oh, as in life, minimum 10 hit dice. Okay. So basically, I think in second edition, this was supposed to be a stat block for... that you like add a NPC to, because later on in this document, in this book, they give two examples of Mjordi. So Proctor Drelto of Antaleus, or Oldrella, 5th Lawkeeper of Bodach. Those are actual fully fleshed out stats for two different Mjordis. I don't think that's what we're going to do. That would be a bit too much for me to handle, just for a live stream and whatnot. I don't want to make it a template. I might change that later, but for now we're just going with a single monster stat block, like not a unique character with a name and stuff. Let's see. Instead of a magic weapon, she uses some sort of spiritually projected weapon on hit dice, and it does psychic damage. Huh. We could just give her the spiritual weapon spell. Or she, like, summons the weapons she uses, like a Pact of the Blade Warlock. Huh. I don't want to make this stat block too complicated. I mean, with this, we're already going to have a bunch. We haven't even gotten into the telepathy stuff yet. But I will, when it does psychic damage, yes. I will keep that in mind. Because she's only going to be able to hold magical things. Which we should actually... I don't think I wrote that down. Decaying Touch. As an action, the Mjordi can touch a non-magical object. Let's give it a size limit, because I don't want her to be able to just, like, touch a house and destroy it without thinking. So maybe a non-magical object that fits within a... 5-foot cube? How big do we want this thing to be? Should she be able to, like, walk up to a full set of armor, tap it, and have it just rust away? I'm gonna go with yes. 5-foot cube. that can fit within a 5-foot cube. The object instantly decays. Oh, yeah. So she can slowly work her way down a house if it's 5 or 10 feet per round. A non-magical object that can fit within a 5-foot cube. I think we're going to keep it at 5 feet, so she can't, like, burrow her way through a wall with this, at least not effectively. So it's going to be 1 square at a time if she's, like, digging through a wall. Non-magical object that can fit within a 5-foot cube. I don't know how we're gonna word that. Crumbles. We'll figure out wording later. Or 5 feet of the larger object. Decays, rotting, or rusting away into dust or sludge. Okay, I like this. I like this. This is big fear moment right there. Let's move on to the next one. Where were we? Psychometabolism, I believe. Oh, zoomed in a bit too far. Cause decay. Displacement. That's probably just Displacer Cloak or Displacer Beast vibes. This power resembles the Displacer Beast's natural ability to make itself appear to be up to 3 feet from its actual location. Okay, it's exactly that. Yes, deteriorates inanimate objects at a rate of 5 cubic feet per round. Okay. I'm just honestly just gonna copy and paste that in. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, disintegration and rust monsters is the sort of vibe it was going for, except it's a touch instead of... Yeah, we took a look at what the rust monsters had to offer, and it was okay. I think the wording could have been better on that monster stat block. So we're just gonna do our own. And we're done with Decaying Touch now, moving on to Displacement. Honestly, this is gonna be a lot of abilities, so we might just have to, like, cull or, what's the word? Cull them? That sounds like something worse. We're going to have to cut a few of these out, trim the fat, as it were, once we're done. Let's see. Displacement. Let's just go to the Displacer Beast and grab the text straight out of there. Displacement. Oh, wow, that's a lot of text. Okay. There we go. Now it has the Displacer Beast ability. Yes, nerf. That'll work. I gotta nerf her. Okay. Moving on to next one. Psychoportive. Anyway, yeah, science, teleport. Should we just give her the Misty Step? I don't want it to be too broken. Misty Step, bonus action, maybe 3 times per day. I think that's fair. Misty Step, 3 per day. Easy. Devotions. Astral projection. That's a 9th level spell, isn't it? I don't know if because like her whole goal is supposed to, well, let's double check and see if it's the right thing. But her whole goal is supposed to be to protect this individual location, not to go out and enforce these ancient laws on people that aren't nearby. So I think we just might nix astral projection altogether. Let's see. Similar to probability travel, except not accompanied by physical body. Instead, an astral body is created. Only creatures who are also on the astral plane can see it. Silvery cord. Yeah, this sounds exactly like, or similar to, the astral projection spell that already exists. Should we do astral projection? We'll just put it in and throw a question mark on it. Because that's a really, she's already so powerful. This is going to be nuts if she can also just astral project into other parts of the dungeon. Actually, if we limit it to just the dungeon, it should work. Make it like a lair action or a regional effect. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. After astral projection is dream travel. Is that like the dream spell? Dream travel is a powerful but unreliable means of getting from here to there. The traveler journeys in his dreams and awakens wherever his nocturnal wandering carried him. Interesting. I kind of like this. So you fall asleep, wander around via your dream, and then when you wake up, you teleport to wherever your dream self is. Kind of like this. Remember, this monster is also as level when alive, so higher CRs will have more abilities. Yes. We'll see if we keep has the abilities from life into this, or if it can be made from just any old body into Miordi. But we'll figure that out. I mean, I don't think we're gonna have all of this stuff. That would be too much. Not too powerful. Well, it probably would be too powerful, but it also would be just too much for the DM to track. It's supposed to be my goal when I'm making monster stat blocks is to make them easier to use, easier to read, and so that the DM can focus on, describing the scene, describing attacks. They don't have to spend a longer turn than the players do on theirs. And it should help speed up combat as well. So I want to keep the number of things it can do to, not too many. This dream travel thing is passive though, so it wouldn't like increase the amount of... Actually, hang on. Dream travel is powerful. The traveler journeys in his dreams and awakes wherever his nocturnal wandering carried him. But undead don't sleep. So how can you dream while also... I don't know. They didn't figure this out. They didn't poke this hole when they were designing this character in 2nd edition. Yeah, we can reflavor this however we want to make it work. But again, I don't think she's going to travel outside of her tomb or whatever she's protecting, so I think we'll nix dream travel as well. Dimension Door, I don't want her to have both Dimension Door and Misty Step. Dream of Dungeon only, yeah, but she also has another way to do that through astral projection. Having 2 different ways to project through... Yeah, 2nd edition is nuts. I learn that more and more the more I look at these documents. Yeah, so astral projection and dream travel is a bit redundant, so we're just going to stick with astral projection. Dimension Door and Misty Step. Which, I don't know, which one do you guys think? Do you want her to be able to go 30 feet as a bonus action, or do you want her to be able to go 500 feet as an action? I don't know which is more in line with this character's vibe. She can already go wherever she wants in the dungeon. I don't think we'll have to... Yeah, I don't know. Misty Step / Dimension Door. We can make that decision later. Unless you guys in chat have some particularly strong opinions about it. For now, I'm just going to say Misty Step or Dimension Door 3 times per day. Let's see. If you're just blah, 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 blah. Water time. If it's your specialty, Alex, I am glad you're here. Teleport trigger. That sounds fun. Teleport is a trap. The scatter spell. A teleport trigger is a programmed event which causes the Psionicist to instantly and reflexively teleport to a safe location. Oh, that's nice. So sort of like a glyph of warding on yourself. After making a successful power check, the Psionicist must specify where they had to go. They must also define very specifically what conditions would trigger it. Okay. Your apathy is at our service. The trigger must be close by. Oh, and it can't be something that the character doesn't know about. So it can't be like trigger to teleport back to the final room when the players arrive there, unless she has a way to know that the players are arriving there. Okay, that's fair and balanced gameplay. And then it gives a couple of examples. Huh. I don't know if there's a 5e equivalent to this. I like this ability, but I don't know if there's a 5e equivalent. Plus, I don't know if this really fits on the Miordi we're building to have this teleport trigger. Let's see. Seeing a Mind Flayer and being attacked by a magic missile spell. Being reduced to 10 or fewer hit points. Those are all example triggers that they give. Let's see. Yeah, so if they reach half health, they just poof, gone. Lair action. Maybe? I don't... It's more of a reaction than anything, because it happens on a trigger. Lair actions happen at initiative 20, usually. This happens on a trigger specifically. There's other things that happen on triggers, like the sequester spell, I think, happens on a trigger. Yeah, or better, the Glyph of Warding spell. I think we'll just come back to this. I really like the ability, but I don't know right now how it's best going to translate. I'll just write teleport trigger, and I can go back to it later. Let's see. Moving on from teleport trigger. Next up is all of these nonsense telepathy abilities. Okay. Most of these look like they're going to have actual spells. Let's see. Domination. We already have Dominate Monster in there as a spell she can do once per day. Mind Link. Who's she gonna link with? Oh, if she links with her minions. Yeah, like there's a Green Dragon regional effect where they can see through the eyes and hear through the ears of, you know, birds and snakes around their lair. Yeah, I could make up the spell or the ward however I want, but for now, just because I'm trying to keep it simple and easy for other people to consume and use in their own games. It's not just going to be me that uses this, I hope. Let's go back with Mind Link. So let's see if we can pull up that Green Dragon ability. Green Dragon. Half Green Dragon. Assassin, Adult, Green Dragon. And it should be around creating trait, ideals, spellcasting, adventure hooks, connections, layers, regional effects, twisted messengers. Oh, this is what I was thinking of. It wasn't the same thing. It's not that they can see out of the Green Dragons, it's not that they can see the Green Dragons. It's not that the Green Dragon can see through them. It's that the Green Dragon can speak through them. And yikes, I've used that. It's really fun when, you know, a Green Dragon's, a bird rips out its own throat attempting to use this dragon's voice as the dragon forces it to. Really creepy. I've used it a couple times. It was a good effect. Let's see. Regional effects. Let's see if there's any normal regional effects. Regional. There it is. It was actually in the normal stuff, not the Fizzbon extra stuff. Rodents and birds within a mile of the lair can serve as the dragon's eyes and ears. Deer and other large game are strangely absent. We can just keep this first sentence. There's going to be other absent stuff, because, you know, this is a desert theme. It's absent of, like, everything. Let's copy and paste. Regional effect. Rodents and birds. Desert creatures. We'll put a size and examples on there. If you can think of examples of some desert creatures that, you know, would be good scouts for the Miordi, let me know. I am coming up empty right now. I don't know why. And this will be the Miordi's eyes and ears. Okay. That was Mind Link, Psionic Blast. Well, we know that. That's just going to be the Mind Flayer's ability. I'll double check to see if it actually is that. Psionic Blast. There it is. A wave of brain force which can jolt a subject's mind like a piece of shocking news. I've just learned a piece of shocking news and I'm stunned. Attacks against me have advantage. Roadrunners and hawks. Yeah, that'll work. Thanks, Alex. Alright, where were we? Where is it? There it is. Desert creatures. Let's just say birds. And insects. Let's put that in. Falcons, hawks, and vultures if you go far enough west. As far as rodents, there are just normal field mice and rats. And lots of snakes. Okay, okay. Well, I think birds and insects. Let's add birds, insects, and rodents. That's probably just what it was originally with with just added insects, isn't it? So most locations are going to have birds, most of them are going to have insects, and most of them are going to have rodents of some sort. But whatever they are will vary, and this will allow the layer that the Minority is a part of to be in any region or biome. Okay, I like this. Doesn't have to be a forest, doesn't have to be a desert. All right. Let's go with the Psionic Blast, though. That is going to be... Let's see. Yeah, creepy stuff. Let's make it vultures specifically. Spiders instead of insects. And rats. Cool. I'm alright with that. And let's just put a note that they have minions of these things, like tiny little skeletons. I actually, in my experimental campaign that I'm running right now, one of the players has their familiar. They really wanted a cat, and they just rolled really, really, really badly on trying to get this cat that they came across to like her. And so in the next town that they went to, I had them come across this creepy shop where there was this elf that was sort of hunched over and talked like this. There was something very wrong with him. And he sold skeletons, animated skeletons of people, of animals, and she bought a skeleton cat familiar. And it's been a whole lot of fun to see what she's doing with it. She actually turned it into a bridge. Long story, I'm not going to get into it here, but skeleton familiars, good idea, in my experience. Let's see. We were going to add skeletons minions. Actually, you know what? Skeleton and other undead minions. And just because she has like this sort of knows everything that's going on vibe, right? She can spy on everything within a mile. She knows the clairvoyance spell. She can astral project into other parts of the lair. I'm going to say that she would also know Rary's telepathic bond. And would have that up constantly with the more powerful minions that she has around. Because I think there's a limit, maybe like 8 or 10 people that can be connected telepathically for Rary's telepathic bond. And it would make sense for her to be able to communicate with these people. And I don't want her to have just like a pure telepathic ability to talk to anyone. No, Alan, I never watched Fairly Odd Parents. That's one of the cartoons that I wasn't a part of the fandom of. But Rary's telepathic bond, big fan of that. Yeah, work on your segues, Dennis, come on. Telepathic bond. For best minions. So she knows what's going on at all times. When there's an intruder, she finds out almost immediately. Let's see. Oh, that's right, Psionic Blast. Sure. She doesn't actually have a whole lot of combat abilities yet, I don't think. So let's give her the Mind Flayer's Psionic Blast. Okay. Let's go with this Awe. That might be hard to find. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, there it is. Psionists can use this power to make others hold them in awe. Each character contacted must make a saving throw versus spells. Characters who fail are mentally code. They sense a telepath's awesome might. They have no desire to serve or befriend him, but they won't attack unless forced to do so. So this is sort of a... This is a fear effect, essentially. It's not flavored that way, but that's essentially what it does. So let's give them the Dragon's Fear ability? Frightening Presence? And call it Awesome Presence? Frightening Presence. Let's do that. I think that's good enough. Connection to 5th edition. Contact, ESP. Oh god, that's a lot. Oh, I found it already. Cool. There were like 200 hits in the document for the word contact. Contact must be established before virtually any telepathic power can be used on another character or creature. Okay. This is the cost for... This is an ability, really. It's the cost. It's how you connect and use a telepathic ability on another creature. I think we're just going to ignore this, because that sounds like more rules than needed to make this work. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just go with no contact. Ego Whip, however, sounds an awful lot like Tasha's Mind Whip. Ego Whip is one of the 5 telepathic attacks used to establish contact with another psionist's mind. The power assaults the victim's ego, leaving him with feelings of inferiority and worthlessness. So this is the gun from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. When, what's his name, Marvin, the robot with the giant head, fires it, and the empathy gun. Except this is only Marvin is firing it. You only get depressed when you get hit with Ego Whip. I don't think this really fits her vibe a whole lot. I mean, like, she doesn't strike me as someone who wants to make others feel inferior to her and worthless. She wants them to feel remorseful and bad for what they've done, because she enforces ancient laws. I mean, they're gonna die anyway, but, you know, a bonus if they feel bad about it. Is there a sort of make feel bad ability? No, I don't think there's any, like, specific emotion evoking abilities in 5th edition that I can think of, other than, like, obviously fear. Or charmed. Could make it a charm effect. I don't want to make it a one-to-one spell, because, like, if you say she knows charm person, that's not the same as a charm person is like you view this person as a friend, or like as a acquaintance that is not dangerous. It doesn't. You don't view this person as a threat anymore. But in this, what I want it to be is, oh, nauseous. Yeah, that's another one. Another emotion evoked. I don't know if nauseous is an emotion. It's definitely a physical reaction. Crushing Despair? Is that a 5th edition spell that I don't know? What nonsense is this? Crushing Despair. I recognize those two words being put together. No hits for... Yeah, this is just the Hag chapter of Volo's Guide to Monsters. We'll table this one, this Ego Whip ability, and move on for now. Id Insinuation. I have no idea. I know what an id is, but I have no idea what they're trying to... It is one of the 5 telepathic attack modes. It seeks to unleash the uncontrolled subconscious of the defender, pitting it against its superego. Wow, someone has a degree in psych. The attack leaves the victim in a state of moral uproar. Technically speaking, the power drives him nuts, at least temporarily. Confusion? Maybe can cast Confusion? I'll put that in there as a question mark. Confusion? Question mark? Out of context jokes. Okay. Let's finish this up real quick. Mind bar, because I do want to... Oh, wow, we've been just doing this for an hour already? Jeez, okay. I'll come back to this probably later, but we should move on from the Miordi, because this book has a lot more to offer than just this couple paragraphs right here. Okay, that's enough of that. We will keep this in mind for next time, maybe start off streams with the Miordi. But moving on to next up. I want to save the hunting cactus, blood grass, and rock cactus for like an evil trees sort of stream, because in earlier editions there's a ridiculous amount of evil trees, of like living blood-sucking plants that are all just trees. So I'll do like a plant-themed stream with all of those things later. What else have we got? We've got drakes. We've got a lot of words I don't understand, like susuran. I mean, the way I was treating it, the entire book was a single stat block. But no, there are several other creatures in here. There are almost, I would say almost 100. Let's see. Psionicus. That sounds like a psychic guy. I want to shy away from psychic, at least for a bit. We just spent an hour looking at psychic stuff. A Lirr. Lirr. What the heck is a lure? Alright. Alright. Funky looking dude. Very brightly colored. Probably animalistic. Let's find out. Yes, intelligence, it is just an animal. What is special about it? The Lirr is a large... Oh, I'll zoom in a bit for you guys. The Lirr is a large, warm-blooded reptile that resembles a large lion. What? Okay, I mean, I guess. It has 4 legs. It possesses bright, multicolored plumage that it uses for silent communication. Kind of cool. The Lirr has a long, sleek, dark gray body. Its scales are small and fine, almost like those of a snake's. Around its neck at the end of its tail sit rings of a web-like membrane. So, oh, what are those lizards called? The frilled lizards that just feel threatened and they go, wah! Around its neck, colored brilliant red, yellow, and orange, these rings normally lie flat. When prey is sighted, however, the membrane fills with air, puffing up to alert other Lear that quarry is nearby. That quarry is nearby, not a threat. Interesting. There's food here. I'll show you. The lure's 4 muscular legs grant a powerful spring, giving it the ability to outrun most prey. So it sounds like an actual, like, if you told me, if you told a 6-year-old that this was a real animal, I'd probably believe you. If you told me that this was a real animal from, you know, Madagascar or Australia, I would probably believe you. In combat, the first offensive move is not to slice its target with claws or teeth, but to render its victims immobile. How? With a roar. The roar has a devastating effect for all creatures with the capacity to hear. Okay, it sounds like a howler. From, was that Mordenkainen's or was that Volo's? Howler, monsters. Yeah, this thing. It sounds like this thing. Mind-breaking howl. I don't know if we'll stat this, just because if this roar is its only ability, its only trait, then why don't you just use the howler stat block? Like, this is perfectly fine. Maybe if you wanted a weaker howler, because howler's CR is 8, which is a bit ridiculous for like a normal monster, but I think they're found in the Underdark, so that would make sense, yeah. Things are scarier in the caves beneath the earth. Let's see if there's anything else other than this roar before we give up on it. Silence spell, no ill effects from the roar. A stunned creature can perform... Okay, yeah. Stunned. So roar stuns it. Once it's close enough, it latches out with its 2 front claws. Okay. When needed, it is capable of leaping great distances over... Okay, yeah. If its only thing is yelling and jumping, I don't think this deserves its own 5th edition stat block. Oh well. Moving on back to table of contents. If you guys see anything that you want me to go over, I have no problem going over it. The Shadow Giant from last time was excellent. Halflings that turned into these brilliantly terrifying creatures that have their own society. The Salt Golem was also ended up being pretty cool. But what else should we get from all of this? The Stalking Horror was also terrifying, as its name implies. Let's see. What about this? A Ford Orin. It is not a car, a Fordorin. Da, 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 da. So, a giant armadillo? Because that is what it looks like. It just looks like a giant armadillo. Let's see. Oh, low intelligence. So, almost human intelligence. Special attack, stench. We'll get into that, I'm sure, in a second. Large. Let's see. Hit dice 5. Okay. Good to know that hit dice and CR are interchangeable. That'll help with future ports from 2nd edition. Magic resistance. Let's see. Psychokinesis. Detonate. That sounds like fun. We'll get into that after we read through its description. The Fordorin is a foul, disgusting creature that inhabits the tablelands surrounding the Silt Sea. It is extremely unpredictable, wanders aimlessly, and may attack for no reason. It is believed to be a distant cousin of the So-Ut. Well, don't know what that is. Moving on. The Fordorin is a large, lumbering quadruped with a tough armored shell. It resembles an enormous armadillo with a formation of 3 horns on its head. Its armored plates are divided into sections that allow the beast to curl into a ball for protection. I was right, armadillo. The Fordorin has the ability to blend in with its surroundings by changing its coloration. Chameleon armadillo, got it. This would make the beast nearly undetectable if it weren't for its stench. Okay, stinky chameleon armadillo that has psychic abilities. This doesn't exist in 5th edition. I can tell you that much. This is going to be a new stat block for us, I'm betting. While slow and stupid, it is a very dangerous opponent. It is completely random and changes the target of its attacks to a different individual with no warning predictability. So basically how I run combat, so I don't single target a player and kill them. Each round there is a 25% chance the beast changes opponents. Switches opponents. There's no other target. Why are they talking about... There must be a mechanic in 2nd edition. It's just switching who you're attacking. Let's see. It has claws. There it is. Reminds me of the Dretch. The demon Dretch. Let's pull that up. Yeah, this guy. There's plenty of stuff that's like this. Fetid Cloud. What's the spell? Stinking Cloud. Any creature fails a con save or be poisoned. While poisoned, can either take an action or a bonus action on its turn. Not both, and can't take actions. There's also the ghouls, or the ghast. Stink ability. Stench. Starts its turn. Okay. I think it... Just to keep it simple, we're going to steal this from the ghast. And say con save or poisoned. And that's it. On a successful save, the creature is immune to the gas stench. Let's copy that. Start a new part 3. Fordoran. Okay. Stench. Any creature that starts its turn within Sovereign Glue in a cabin, and it's an RV. Oh, Sovereign Glue is not used enough in any campaigns. Like, I give it to players more often than not, and they just don't think of clever ways to use it and fuck with my plans. Maybe I should just give it out for free and make it not a legendary magic item. Let's see. Change all the ghast words to Fordoran. Four-door sedan. Immune to the four-door sedan stench. Let's up, it's supposed to be CR5, so let's up this con save to a 13 and make it, since its stench was very vocal in, very apparent in its description, let's make it starts its turn within, let's say 10 feet, 15 feet? It's only CR5, let's do 10. Alright, back to the stats. If the Fordoran detects its opponents before being detected itself, it uses its psionic abilities. The creature uses psionic science of domination to seize control of an opponent. If successful, the controlled individual attacks its comrades. Okay. A CR5 creature does not know dominate person. That's just how it works. Might know charm person, Or hypnotic pattern. I think hypnotic pattern might be more useful. Have a couple of kobolds use it on them with kobolds armed with a sling. Yeah, that could work. That could work. I think I'll just give it hypnotic pattern for its domination psychic ability, because it should not be able to control a player character, like possess it or anything like that. So let's add its spell list to its spell list. 1 per day. Hypnotic pattern. And this is going to be like, I would flavor it as like its chameleon shell is sort of like changing colors rapidly, freaking him out. Let's see. So there's our hypnotic pattern. And let's... Forderns are immune to all sleep, charm, and hold spells. There's a lot of magic immunity, but I don't think I want to include that for this one, because most of the other creatures that we've seen in here are immune to some sort of spell. I don't want that to just go be the case with everything we build from this Dark Sun book. So I think I'll just cut that and start working on sciences, because I'm really excited to figure out what this detonate ability is. Detonate, detonate, detonate. Some sciences can make a bush self-destruct or cause a zombie to explode. With the detonate power, latent energy inside plants or inanimate objects can be harnessed, focused, and released explosively. The power even works against animated undead, does not affect non-corporeal undead. Furthermore, this science has no effect on animals, including intelligent creatures such as humans or undead with free will. Okay, there's gotta be a sort of... I feel like there's not really a spell for this. And I don't know, because should we just give this 4-door sedan psychic abilities along with its stench? Sure, why not? Make it weirder. That's what we're here for, right? This thing's gonna be nuts, crazy, insane. 1 per day hypnotic pattern. Detonate. Make object explode. Can target zombies. And plant creatures as well. But no humanoids, no celestials, no other creature types. Mislead. That is a spell I have not actually read through fully. What does mislead do? Oh, yeah, this thing. You become invisible, and then an illusory double of you appears where you're standing. It goes one way, and invisible you goes the other. Super cool spell. It is a 5th level spell, so I'm hesitant to give it to this CR5 creature. I will keep it in mind. I'll put a question mark by it. Hypnotic pattern, 1 per day. Mislead, question mark. Because it is a cool spell. I mean, I'm playing a wizard right now in my dad's campaign, and I really need to teach my wizard that spell. It's so cool. For now, though, let's see. Detonate ability, did we finish writing that? Yes. Target takes damage and small area effect. probably recharge 6 ability. Distance or time limit? Yeah, it needs to have a limit. Let's make it 30 feet. .30-foot range and recharge 6. Because it shouldn't be able to do this very often. Or maybe 6. Recharge 6 or 5 to 6. I'll just put recharge. Rechargeable. Because I haven't like put any numbers on it yet, so I don't know how powerful it is. I kind of like the idea, I like both ideas, like being able to do it once and having just one single thing just be able to cast fireball basically and explode. But I also like the idea of, you know, like every turn, its main attack is, if its claws can't reach anything, it can like focus on a plant and just set it on fire and do damage to everything around it. Actually, I kind of like this as an every turn thing. I really like that smaller and more often a lot better, because other than this thing that we're giving it, it doesn't have any ranged damage. It's just got its claws. So let's do that. Make targets takes small amount of... Target takes little damage, small area effect, also little damage. Action, make object explode. Okay, hopefully I can translate this nonsense when I go to actually build the stat block. Okay, let's see. Next is soften. And ballistic attack. I don't like levitation. I want it to stay on the ground, and I don't want there to be too many abilities. But let's take a look at soften. Oh, I put the comma in there. There we go. This power resembles molecular manipulation, except that it weakens the entire object instead of a small area across a single plane. The object softens overall, losing its rigidity and strength. Specific effects vary depending on the material. Metal. Oh, this is complicated. This has different effects for metal, wood, stone, magic items. Okay. I think I'll skip this. It doesn't really add anything to the four-door sedan's vibe. Mud to dirt, that would be a good... What's it called? Stone shape? Is that the spell? Where you turn stone into mud and whatnot to soften it and make it pliable and rework it and stuff. Yeah, like even in second edition, it doesn't appear to make... It has, after 10 rounds, this terrible thing happens, but it doesn't have, it's like a whole lot of actual effects, and I don't want to give, you know, -1 to weapons, because that would be too, I don't want to have to make the players keep track of more stuff than they already are. So I think we'll skip over soften in this case, but I'll take a look at the psychic ballistic attack. This power can make any psionicist a David when he's facing Goliath. It's a special variation of the telekinesis science. Instead of moving any object that is relatively... okay. Allows us to hurl a small object at a target. Easy catapult spell. It's right there. Glad they added that. I've had so much fun using the catapult spell in-game. Like, someone says, "Pat, can you pass the stake?" And I'll just cast catapult on it and have it fly across the room and actually do damage to the player at the feast. It's a lot of fun. So let's put catapult 3 times per day. So at this point, it should be pretty obvious if it's doing catapult and this detonate thing that it has psychic abilities. And that is what we're going to keep it as. Just this stinky, giant armadillo chameleon with psychic abilities, like we said in the beginning. Let's see what other abilities we can give it before we move on. Domination. We're not having it dominate people. Decided that already. Psychic Crush. So Bigby's hand, except invisible. Because I know that some... the Githyanki have that. Let's see what else. Let's pick 3. No, let's pick 2. Pick 2 from this list of telepathy stuff. So invisible Bigby's hand. Attraction. Is that sort of catapult at yourself? Or is it talking about physical attraction? An overwhelming attraction to a particular person. Okay. I know we said earlier that we're not going to have it use charm person. Should we keep this? Transmute mud to rock. Thank you. That is what we were thinking of. Or stone shape. Stone shape works as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna keep away from the charm stuff. This thing is supposed to be repulsive. The Ego Whip, we already know was... Oh god, my memory's starting to fade. False sensory input. Okay. That's something I can get behind. Give it a... So it starts off by, like, trying to hide, and then once they smell it and start to make those saving throws, it's going to start to detonate stuff around it to try to kill these people. And then, once they think they found it, they are going to do false sensory input and make them think it is somewhere else. So, let's give it a... friendship instead of charm. Well, friends, the spell, only gives someone advantage on charisma checks. And this thing's not going to be making any intimidation or deception or persuasion checks on people. So I think we'll just get rid of that entirely. But false sensory input is the... what's that psychic spell where you make someone think of... You make someone see something that's not there. It's not an illusion. It's very... It's specific to a single person. Phantasmal Force. That's what I'm thinking of. So we put Phantasmal Force in here. Doop-a-doop. Nope. Wrong button. There we go. Phantasmal Forky. I don't know how many per day. We'll leave that blank for now. Suggestion. No, you have to be able to speak to cast suggestion. I don't think this thing is smart enough for verbal or mental communication. At least not as far as language goes. I want to keep this thing sort of like animalistic and like less intelligence than a person. Where were we? We're in here. Inflict pain. Just psychic inflict pain. Mind thrust. Repugnance. That sounds like repulsion that I was talking about earlier. Repugnance. With this power, this creature makes something, a particular place, person, or object. Ooh. Apathy, sympathy, apathy. Except a lesser version of that spell. Completely repugnant. Makes it completely repugnant to another character. That character is overwhelmed with loathing for the thing. He will seek to destroy it as completely and quickly as possible. I don't know if... Like, how would this creature use this ability in combat, though? Like, it would make it be repulsed by the grass it's hiding in, maybe? I feel like that's much less cool than making the grass next to the character explode, right? For suggestion, it is the magic that the target can miss a saving throw. Yeah, okay. I'm with you on that one. We'll put suggestion in as a maybe. I might have to cull some of this too later, because boy did 2nd edition like giving creatures a butt ton of abilities. Suggestion. Probably 3 per day, if we decide on it. I think that is good for this creature. So, to sum up, a Fordoran, this chameleon armadillo that is very, very smelly. Has bad BO. Really, really bad. Like, so bad that it has a stench ability that will poison you if you're too close. What other abilities do we end up with? It can use its skin, its chameleon-like skin, to cast Hypnotic Pattern on anything that is threatening it. Might be able to actually cast Illusion Magic, make other things seem like it's there while it turns invisible and hides elsewhere with its chameleon abilities. Once the players start fighting it, it becomes apparent that this thing is psychic. As it casts Catapult, sends rocks flying at the party, and makes tufts of grass or the zombies that are chasing the party explode and do damage to the surrounding area. Yeah, I like how this is going. Make him chrome, so he's sort of like this mirror thing that can turn invisible. Okay, I'll put that down as a note. Chameleon or chrome / invisible. Yeah, I like this. Okay, moving on to the next one. All right. You know what? The rain para-elemental was just so cool the first time I looked through this book. It was one of the coolest things that I've ever seen in a D&D book, and I'm very sad that it doesn't exist anymore. That stat block is actually going to be playtested soon, so you should be seeing it come out on my community tab. I'll make it that one specifically free for everyone to see and use once I figure out whether it's balanced or not. But this rain, just like rain flying through the air, like swirling around like a snake, and it attacks people by sucking out their blood, because when it goes next to water, it sucks out all the moisture. So if it goes by a person, it sucks out their moisture, dealing necrotic damage. So I just like the idea of an elemental that deals necrotic damage. And I want to look at other ones. We looked at Silt last time, so do you guys want to look at the Sun Elemental or the Magma Elemental? Maybe the General Elemental. Let's pick one of those three to go over next, because I don't know. The more and more I looked at the rain elemental and worked on it. Who cares about balance? Right. I just need to make sure that the CR number is right for people that want to, you know, actually calculate encounters, which I attempt to do sometimes. I just end up getting it wrong most of the time. Let's see. So magma elemental, sun elemental, or the general elemental. If we can pick one of those three, we'll go on to that one next. There is a little bit of a delay, so I'm sorry if you've already typed in your suggestion in the chat and I haven't seen it yet. I think it's like a 30-second delay between me talking and you. I think we'll go with the sun elemental, because magma elemental seems pretty straightforward. General elemental seems boring, maybe, but an elemental that is based on the sun, I kind of want to see what that's all about. Ooh, that's a two-headed phoenix. That right there looks awesome. All right, excited for this nonsense. It is an elemental, so very rare, semi-intelligent. Let's see. Hit dice, 9, so CR 9. +1 magical weapon or better to hit. So yeah, resistant to, in 5e that is just resistance to normal weapon damage. And by normal I mean non-magical. And if you're curious, we have been this whole time listening to the music from Michael Gelfi Studios, who honestly, their stuff I just use exclusively in my games. It is not a sponsor. I just love, like, I've had personal connections with Michael and Philippe. There's Switzerland-based company that makes ambiences and music for use in TTRPGs. Highly suggest you go check out their channel when this is done. I honestly, whenever I'm just writing D&D or something like that, I will find an ambience of the setting that I'm writing in, and they will have it. They have literally like 500, almost 1,000 ambiences now, I want to say. From like a temple of water to specific layers of hell, different ambience for each one. It's super cool. Highly suggest checking out their stuff. We're just listening to, you know, some of their peaceful background music. Let's see. Going on to the sun elemental. Let's see what its description is. Para-elemental beasts of sun can be summoned anywhere there is strong sunlight, of which there is no shortage in Athos. Para-elemental beasts of sun gain free will often choose to make Athos their permanent home because of the great presence of their para-element. Para-elemental beasts of sun resemble the phoenix of legend. They are two-headed birds composed of flames sustained by the rays of the suns. Their flaming wings span 16 feet across. Their two heads work in tandem, seemingly under the control of one brain. It hurts to look directly at the para-elemental beast of sun because they radiate light even more intense than a light spell. Interesting. All right. So it sounds a lot like normal Phoenix, just brighter. Let's see. Talon attacks, swooping, flyby mechanic probably. What does the Phoenix stat block have to offer? To us in this moment. Phoenix. Because I know Phoenixes are fast. That's like their thing. Yeah, fly 120 feet. Same as a rock, I believe. Legendary monsters. This is much more difficult than the 9 CR or hit die that this sun elemental is supposed to be. And the Phoenix obviously is the classic fiery death and rebirth that the sun elemental would not have. Swoop. Yes, this flyby. Doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when it flies out of an enemy's reach. This will probably have the same thing. So sun elemental, flyby. I feel like 2 bite attacks for the 2 heads. Let's see, what else? And there was something in there about it being particularly bright. If we add that, I think we will have our creature. Because obviously this is an elemental. It's not going to have psychic abilities. I don't know why that's obvious. Everything in here has psychic abilities. It's just weird that this one doesn't. Okay, moving on to combat. Talons and beak are fiery hot, and they leave terrible burns on their victims. Okay, yeah, fire damage. Two bite or claw attacks, fire damage. Okay. Moving on. Can generate intense heat from their bodies that cause sunstroke and dehydration. Fire damage aura, probably. Yeah? It specifically calls out dehydration twice, though. So I'm considering making that also an effect. For now, we'll just have fire damage aura with dehydration as a question mark. Your monster might be mutants, so the only way your players know about it is because they've seen or been taught about it. Okay. Yeah, I just like having monsters that the players don't know of. That's part of the reason I'm doing this. Like, nobody I play with has played 2nd edition. They're gonna be like, what the heck? Where'd you dig this up? What are you throwing at us? A 2-headed phoenix? That is blinding? The Phoenix stat block doesn't have a blinding ability. Yes, I think daily about plasma. Plasma in what sense? Saying that this is a plasma elemental? That actually just sounds cooler. Plasma elemental? Yes, I'm changing that now. Plasma elemental. Particularly bright. I always like describing it. Like, if you've seen my actual play, the Garlax Chronicle on my channel, then you would know, that I described it a couple times, the bright white fire as burning magnesium, because that stuff's like dangerous to look at if you ever seen it. Thanks for joining, Alex. Always a pleasure to have you on our live streams. I will see you around, and I'll have a good night. Sleep well. Cold plasma. I don't know if plasma can be cold. I do like the idea of cold plasma, though. It's just something that's very cold and very bright. Well, for now, we're going to keep it with, heat. Maybe... Oh, this is a sun elemental. Maybe this should be doing radiant damage. What do you think? Maybe I should do a little bit of both. Give it some back and forth. Let's see. They regen while in sunlight. Okay, that I can get behind. Even from 0. So it's sort of like a troll, because when a troll goes to 0 hit points without taking fire or acid damage, it still gets its healing ability at 0. I've had parties almost get TPK'd because of this. I threw a dire troll at them, and just like using its whirling claws, getting attacks on all the parties. 2 people go down, and one of them is the healer. They were in big trouble at that point. So regenning in sunlight would be interesting. So they actually have to somehow figure out how to put shade over this thing in order to kill it. Must be in shade to die. Cool. While not in sunlight, they have penalties. I'm gonna go with no. 5th edition doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses that are specifically laid out. Like most creatures don't have a damage vulnerability, or, you know, a weakness like vampires can't cross running water or something like that. So we'll leave that out for now. The creatures can create massive bursts of sunlight for their bodies. There we go. Blinding stuff. What spells are there that blind besides blindness? What creates a blinding light in spell? So let's no blinding smite, but that's just one target. I want it to be more than one target. Let's see. More than one target. Where's the... Here it is. So we're going to search in the search bar for blind, and then we're going to narrow it down to spells. Blindness, deafness, find familiar, animate objects. That's it? That's it? What about blinding smite? Blinding? Okay, there's more blinding stuff, but those aren't... Is it really just blindness, deafness, and freaking... There's no aura blinding stuff? Maybe in magic items there will be something. Oh! The Gem of Brightness! I thought about it just before it appeared in front of my face. Second man work expense fire brilliant beam. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Con save, a cone, con save, or be blinded. Gem of Brightness aura. There it is. We'll just throw that in here. And should this be an action on its own, so it has to give up its tax to do this and can repeat doing it, or should it be less often than that? Let's go with, I don't know. It's kind of like a make it happen once, because if it happens multiple times, it'll start to get boring. Yeah, let's just make it once per day and make it powerful. Make the DC like 15, 18, something nuts like that. Powerful once per day. And it can use it, maybe it uses it to escape, blinds all of its enemies, and then flies out of there. Escape mechanism, question mark. Let's see. What else does it got? Para-elemental beasts of sun are immune to all heat-based... Oh, yeah, obviously. Immune to fire and radiant. Let's make it. Fire, radiant immunity, and... this is a bunch of other immunities that are 2nd edition specific. Ooh, takes damage from darkness spells. I like that. I know I said we wouldn't put extra weaknesses in here, but takes damage from magical darkness. Brilliant. Cold plasma. Like a breath weapon? Huh. I think that would be a cool breath weapon, actually. This thing has 2 heads. There has to be something special with that, too, right? Besides just 2 bite attacks. No, the Etten doesn't have anything really special with its 2 heads, right? Look at Tricrin? What is Tricrin? No. You mean Thrycreen? Thrycreen, the now playable race from Spelljammer? But yes, definitely damage from magical darkness. That is cool. I always liked the idea of a monster hunter, sort of like Geralt in The Witcher, where you can do research on creatures, or you can just like brute force run through. Oh yes, thank you. Oh, a key Rin. That's what you're talking about, Spirit Wolf. A key Rin. That's that thing. That's really powerful. Right, the Hydra stat block, the Etten stat block. I think they both have advantage to blind charm. Let's do that. Let's do that. Even though they called out specifically that they work in tandem and seem to have one consciousness, let's still give them the advantage from having 2 heads. Advantage versus blind charm. Let's actually look it up. Hydra. Multiple heads. Advantage on saving throws against blinded charm, deafen, fright. Wow, I'm just gonna copy paste this. Blinded charm, deafen, frightened, stunned, knocked unconscious. Yeah, that makes sense. And Spirit Wolf, you wanted to look at the key Rin for what ability specifically are you looking at? Horn, Sacred Fire. Ah, regional effects. Layer of luxury, regional effects. Blessed nature, control weather. Pure water, respite, safe descents. Which one were you looking at that this sun elemental would work with? Wow, I actually like this. Just the key rin in general. I might have to throw this in one of my upcoming games. Oh, like awe, like the Miordi had earlier. An awe ability, sort of like a fear effect, but instead you're just in awe of the creature. It looks like key rin don't really have that. But I do like that as an effect. Like a frightening presence that a dragon has, except it's awe, not fear. And I think that pretty much wraps up our sun elemental. And now, just because I want to know, we might not build the stat block of it right now, but I want to know... Oh, okay, I was confused. So, the para-elemental beast general is describing what's on the page, not a different creature. There's no general elemental that's like all elements or no elements. I was wondering what the heck that was supposed to be. Okay, that makes sense. Let's move on to... Let's see what a obsidian retriever is. That thing's freaky. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and keep looking through this stuff. And the first... I think it is just you two, Christian and Spirit Wolf, in the chat right now. Oh, looks like someone else just joined. Cool. We're gonna go over whoever puts a suggestion in the chat will be the last creature we go over. I'm just going to go through first the table of contents and scroll down slowly-ish to figure out what we've got. We've got the Avarag, the Bazarag. Saving these three for later. We did the Silops already. The Crawdlu. Whoever puts a suggestion in first, that's the one we're going to go do for the last port of the night. Daggeran, Dot, with an HA in there. The Drakes, Magma Rain, Silt Sun. The Dray, we did that already. They were kind of cool. It's like an underground Dragonborn race. I mean, we got Dark Elves, Dark Dwarves, Dark Gnomes. Why not Dark Dragonborn? The Drick. The Dune Reaper. That sounds kind of dark. Let's see. Normal elemental beasts. The Fail, already have the stat block out for this one. If you go to my community tab, scroll down, the Fail will be on there. It's also on my Patreon page for free. You don't have to actually give me money to access this stat block. All right, Dune Reaper it is. What does this thing look like, though? Oh, God! Oh god, that's horrifying. It's like it reminds me of like an Ankeg, except, you know, worse in every way. This is... yikes. Okay. So it looks like it's sort of like a hive mind sort of thing, because it has a warrior stats here and a matron stats here, so like an ant queen sort of thing. Drones as well. Let's go into the descriptions. They are active during the day, semi to low intelligent. Hit dice, 8, 10. Oh, the drone is CR8. So the littlest one, the baby, is a CR8, which is equivalent to about a level 13 to 15 PC. So there's a bunch of level 13 PCs just running around together in a hive mind. Let's see. Surprise Leap is their special attacks. 8 feet to 10 feet tall. Fearless Morale. Okay, let's move on to the actual description. The Dune Reaper prowls the sandy wastes in wild packs, leaping from dunes to ambush and impale its prey on its scythe-like limbs. The Dune Reaper is a large and forbidding creature with a toothy maw. Hey! A toothy maw! Matt Mercer is not the only one that loves this. Toothy maw. With a toothy maw and mandibles to either side of its mouth. The Reaper, as it is commonly called, also has razor-sharp row of scale-like plates down the center of its back and a thick, scaly hide, ranging from red to deep brown in color. The beast's front limbs taper to a sword-like appendages that it uses quite effectively in combat. The Reaper's rear legs fold underneath themselves, giving it an impressive leaping ability. Perhaps the most distinguishing features of the Dune Reaper are the eerie red luminescence of its eyes and the sickly sweet smell of decay that surrounds it. The Reaper emits a howling wail that can frequently be heard across the barren deserts of Athos. The size, ferocity, and eerie appearance of the Dune Reaper makes it highly valued combatant in many Athasian arenas. Wow, poor things. Alright, these are scary. I feel like they're not special, though. You know what I mean? There's nothing, like, individual about them that makes them super cool. Yeah, they have swords for front arms, but praying mantises basically have those. Unless there's this, like, something about the sickly sweet smell of decay or the red luminescence of its eyes, I don't know if I'll make a stat block for this thing. Yeah, hook horror, aliens, onkegs from Mortal Kombat. Yeah, these things are terrifying, but I don't know if they're that special. Just mantis people. Yeah, they're basically like Thry-Kreen, but stupid. Territorial, divided into clans. They patrol, to attack trespassers as food. Ambushing predators. This is nothing. None of this is new or honestly that interesting. It's how they ambush. Da, 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 da. They grapple when they attack. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Like, they don't hypnotize with their eyes like a Umber Hulk. They don't wail like a Howler or a Banshee. It's literally just physical attacks. I don't think they even have anything ranged. Yeah, I'm gonna skip this one. It was really promising when we saw this terrifying image, and they do have a lot of information in here about it, but none of it ends up being translatable to real abilities. And I don't want to just like invent entire new monsters. I don't want to add stuff that's not already present in here. Like we totally could just like add something about this eerie red luminescence of its eyes that it mentioned, because that's the only place it mentions it. We could give it like the Umber Hulk ability or something else. They spit sovereign glue. Oh my god. Finally, a use for the stuff. Pelts have oil of slipperiness. Yeah, but those don't... I like those effects, but it doesn't say in here, at least not in the parts that I read, that those are a thing. So I don't think I want to... Like, all of the information in here is like weirdly specific details about their society and how they live, how they reproduce. It's just... I don't know. I don't think it's that interesting. If I wanted to read stuff like this, I'd go pick up an encyclopedia, you know? And with that, unfortunately on that note, I think we are going to close out the stream for tonight. We did actually get a lot of cool stuff done. We spent the entire first half going over the Miordi. Let me pull it up real quick. This lady is going to be terrifying and is going to appear in, I don't know, definitely appearing in some of my campaigns. My upcoming big campaign, which will probably be recorded and reposted. But this lady is going to be a lot of fun to run, I think, once we build and balance her. Very powerful, undead, protector of a lair. But it's not just a normal undead like Archlich or Mummy Lord or something like that. This lady is specifically always enforcing the ancient laws that were around when she was alive, especially trespassing in her lair. She's got a whole bunch of psychic abilities to communicate with her minions inside the lair. She's got... what else? What else has she got? She can teleport. She can... she's immune to a bunch of conditions like charm, just like a lot of other stuff was. She has a Mind Flayer psionic ability to just like pierce into your mind. She can use vermin inside the lair and around it as spies. Yeah, I'm really excited to figure out. Oh, I forgot my favorite part, her decaying touch. She can touch stuff and just cause it to immediately rot or rust away. Super excited for describing that when I actually run her in a combat. If you are not already a part of my channel's Discord, go into the description and there should be an invite link there. In the coming days, I'm going to be putting together a sort of... I don't know, I don't want to call it a one-shot, but I'm going to be taking people from my Discord and saying, hey, I'm going to be online in a voice channel here to run some combat, just to help rebalance these creatures. So if you want to actually fight some of the stuff that we've been building here, go into the Discord and go in, say hi, you can introduce yourself, or just, you know, lurk if you want. I'm okay with that too. But go in there and keep an eye out for an announcement about when I will be running this combat to rebalance this stuff. You can use it as an opportunity to play the character that you built that you know you're never going to actually use in a campaign, or to try out new character builds yourself, because especially for this Miordi, when she's built, it's going to be a pretty high level boss fight that I'm running, so you can like go up to 10 levels. So go in to the Discord, keep an eye out. That will be in the coming days. I'll post when I will be running this thing. But for now, I will be signing off. Thank you all for joining, especially those of you, Spirit Wolf and Christian, for Master Lurker of Discord servers. thank you both and everyone else that is here for tuning in and participating. And until next time, just remember, everything is going to be okay. Thanks, everyone.